Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. Happy Monday. Listen, you guys, I was trying to set up my show using my new camera that I bought over the weekend. Shout out to Black Friday. I went to this store called the FAC. I don't know if you guys have them in other countries, but this is the first time that I've ever really gone there and wandered around. And oh my God, like I'm obsessed. I'm trying to go back there ASAP, like to get some cute little gifts for some people. Like I always thought of it like a Best Buy, Future Shop sort of a deal. And it is that. But then they also have like this other cute side of like gift sets and just like other fun activities and hobbies and whatnot. And I was so freaking excited about that. I had a good time. But the problem was it was like the last day of like the Black Friday week. And so it was so busy, so many people. It was really overwhelming. So I literally just went, got this camera that I'm struggling to set up for now, but I'm really excited about that. This is the Sony ZV-1F. And yeah, honestly, so it was a really good weekend. I worked out the whole weekend. Friday was spin class. Saturday was salsa dancing class and a little bit of weightlifting. Sunday was weightlifting. And today is my off day, a much deserved off day, y'all. I am sore. I feel like I got hit by a truck. Okay. So anyway, listen. There's a lot of reality TV stuff to discuss today. Last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, disgusting. I'm sorry, but who told Gizelle that she was a girl? She is just, and I hate to say it, but I feel like she's a loser. Let me put up this picture. Like she gets off on just being so unnecessarily cruel to people, and it's disgusting at her age. What is she, like 56? 57 years old or something like that, and she still has these weird mean girl tendencies for literally no reason. Like the ganging up on Stacey is crazy. It's absolutely insane. And I'm loving Monique this season, okay, because Monique is not falling for their BS. Like they keep trying to wind her up about her ex-husband. She said, listen, I divorced that man. I do not care if Stacey's dating him, screwing him, whatever, calling him. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. So it makes you wonder, why are Ashley, Kiarna, Gizelle, Tia, why is everybody else so wound up about something that only impacts Monique, yet Monique doesn't give a crap? Oh, and then we also have to talk about the 90 Day Fiancé tell-all special that aired yesterday. Jovi tried so hard to nag his wife, Yara, during the season. Remember when he practically called her ugly before the plastic surgery and whatnot? Well, all of the 90 Day Fiancé cast stood up for her and said, Jovi, look in the mirror, buddy. You're ugly. Like they really, really went in on this guy. And ordinarily, I don't like people speaking to others that way. However, the fact that this man, as Yara's husband, decided to sit there in front of everybody and call his wife ugly. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad that they all came in with the quickness to remind him that Yara is way out of his freaking league. Truly, like enough of the negging. Okay. Anyway, let's see what y'all had to say. Good morning to you all. How were your weekends? Did you have a good time celebrating? What did you get up to? Are you out of your turkey comas? Let me know. Okay. Destination Sunrise says, ooh, yes. Can't wait. I'm glad someone is specifically calling out Gizelle's bitter / mean girl behavior. Every season she gets undeserving passes. And I agree. She has been terrible from the very, very beginning. And it's just, I'm so sick and tired of it going unchecked. She's nasty. She's bitter. She's mean. Her spirit is so ugly. She's a witch. She is a freaking witch. And it's not funny and it's not fun. And I really think that Potomac could thrive without her. You see how Potomac is still going on without Karen, even though you feel the absence of Karen, it's still going on and it's still an interesting season. I would love to see even just one season without Gizelle. I guarantee you it would be a lot less nasty than it is with Gizelle. Like she just cannot breathe without being a nasty, like just a nasty, vile individual. Truly, I'm so over her. So over her. Good morning to you too, Jamie. Nice to see you. Happy Monday. Good morning, Cami. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Tamara, Venusia. Happy birthday to your daughter, the big 1-7. How are y'all celebrating her birthday, Venusia? I hope you guys had a great day. Tamara. Oh, and I love that, Tamara. Thanks. Listen, I love when y'all tell me where you're watching from and what y'all love doing. And even you guys in the bushes, when y'all come out of the bushes, wrestling through the leaves and whatnot, dodging the thorns to tell me that you're watching from the bushes. I love it. I love it. Thanks. So, la 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 la. Good morning to you too, Jazz. And nice to see you. And isn't it crazy that it's already December? I haven't opened my advent calendar yet. I got an advent calendar, but I haven't opened it yet. It's a chocolate one. And another one that I wanted to buy was a tea one from Yogi Tea. I know they're a cult, or they were a cult, but they have really good tea. And I'm not going to join the cult, okay? So I think it's safe for me to be buying it. Good morning, Gala. Good morning, Two Snaps. Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Minnie. I know the time has gone by so quickly. And you know what? To help with seasonal depression, multivitamins, vitamin D, D3, get on top of it. Getting those steps in, whether it's inside the house, outside of the house, hanging out with people as much as possible. It is rough. I feel you. That's how I've been able to dig myself out of the hole this year. It is rough, but it's possible. Good morning, Becky. And you know what? Maybe even creatine. A lot of people think of creatine only for like if you're doing like weightlifting or whatever, but it's also for like cognitive benefits as well. Good morning, Becky. Good morning, East Awesome. Yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Your pool has reopened. What? Where are you living that your pool is open at this time of year? We are not the same, boo. The pool over here would be turned into ice by now. I am so freaking jealous. Good morning, Kahara. Nice to see you. And thank you guys so much, by the way, for all of the happy birthday wishes for Venetia's daughter. You guys are so sweet. Good morning, Castle Magic. Nice to see you. Listen. I know you're sick of me asking you about that spell, so I'm not going to ask today, okay? But just be warned. I'm asking you tomorrow. And you know what, Ronnie? That's a good question. I was trying to get some Doc Martens for somebody as like a Christmas gift, but they're still so expensive. I'm like, listen, I'm giving myself a budget cap. I can't go over it unless a miracle happens. He also says, y'all, the ladies are making the show difficult to watch. Last night, I yelled when I saw the Chiron or Sharice maybe saying we're seeing an angel scene. The subsequent scene was infuriating. I'm going to take an RHOP break. No, don't go. We need you, and we need your takes. We need you out there fighting for Wendy Osefo. Okay, East Awesome, don't leave us. I know it's bad, but us as a community of watchers, I think that like we at least add like the joy to it or something, or at least we're getting through it together, right? It was really bad, and we're going to get into that for sure. And wow, a laptop for Christmas. That's so sweet, Venetia. What a lovely month to be born. You get your Christmas gifts and you get your B-Day gifts. Hell yeah, break it in. Happy birthday once again to your beautiful, lovely daughter. So you guys, like I said, we've only got the 2 recaps to get into in today's episode of the Morning Report, okay? So basically, we pick back up the episode with the girls just like ganging up on Stacy at the party. And here comes Gizelle the witch. The Wicked Witch of the Potomac Ditches, where she builds her home. She comes in and she says, that girl, and she's pointing at her. She always does this to rile people up. Somebody who hates you or somebody who's aggressive towards you, the way that Gizelle is towards Stacy, pointing in your face to me, I see that as a threat, right? And so she always purposely does this to trigger people and to rile them up, right? Thankfully, Stacy didn't rock her world, but she could have. So she, like, out of nowhere, she's like, that girl can't be trusted with husbands or kids. Gizelle, when was the last time you had a husband? Like it was like 20 freaking years ago. Get over it. Like, what do you know about this girl can't be trusted with husbands? What has she done? Maybe she went on a date with Chris Samuels, but Chris Samuels isn't even a husband. He's a divorced man. So what are you talking about? She can't be trusted with husbands. Are men who have been married in the past not allowed to date? Is that what that is? And then what about the whole children thing? Are you really just going to slip that in there without justifying? I hope that Stacy and Andy Cohen take her to task over that particular comment at the reunion, because that is a very, very dangerous insinuation that this witch is making. Are you saying that Stacy is a PDF file? Like, what is she doing with people's children that you're saying she is for you to say that she's dangerous around children. That is absolutely, absolutely insane. It's ludicrous. And she better have a damn good reason for saying that. Listen, at this point, I low-key think Gizelle needs to be sued. She's played with too many people. She needs to be sued at this point. Maybe that'll wake her up. I know right now she's going through that lawsuit with Eminem, but that's not enough. One of these housewives ladies needs to come out and pull out a lawsuit on her ass, because she is just a freaking terror. She really, really is. Okay. And Charisse, I don't even know why she's involved here, but all of a sudden, she decides that she's going to go ahead and call Chris Samuels. I'm sorry, but all these girls are such losers. You're a bunch of losers. Chris Samuels has nothing to do with any of you. That is Monique's ex-husband. And none of you guys are even in contact with Monique for y'all to be so pressed. Gizelle, don't you hate Monique? Charisse, same thing. Ashley, you're supposedly friends with her, but she's been living in her new house for years. You've never been there. You know, Kiarna, you don't even know her. Tia, same thing, right? And Wendy, you haven't even seen her in years. And, you know, I'm not coming down on Wendy because Wendy is Team Stacy here. She doesn't understand why these girls are being so dramatic. So why are all these people who don't even like Monique or are not in contact with Monique and barely in contact with Chris so wound up about whether or not Stacy went on a date with Chris or Stacy talked to Chris about something involving Monique? Shouldn't y'all be happy that the girl you hate might get into some hot water with her ex-husband? Isn't that typically something that gets you guys all happy, you know, turmoil in people's lives? And all of a sudden you're concerned for her. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, they really need to find something to do. They truly need to get their own storylines. We're sick of it. So anyway, like I said, Charisse calls Chris to ask him if Stacy really did run and tell him what it is that Monique told them about him only being nice to her when he wanted some coochie. And Chris says, I don't know anything about what y'all are talking about. Leave me alone. And even with that, they still do not believe Stacy. So what was the point of calling Chris? They wanted it to be a gotcha moment, and they flopped again. Wow. All of these girls, all they could do when it comes to Stacy is flounder, flop, and fail to incriminate her. And they are getting really, really wound up about it on a level that is absolutely insane because, again, they don't talk to Monique or Chris. So why are veins popping out? Why are your wig? Why is your wig glue running from the top of your head? Because you're sweating so much. You're so worked up about this. It doesn't make any damn sense. And despite all of this, Stacy is such a classy, elegant, sweet woman, right? So despite the fact that Gizelle hosted this event and didn't stop people from ambushing her, Stacy still goes up to her and says, listen, Gizelle, I'm about to leave, but this was a lovely event. And congratulations again on your 10 million downloads, right? And Gizelle kind of just shrugs her off, you know, says, thank you, bye, right? So Stacy, she goes, she presses that elevator button because she's leaving. Then you have Jazzy, really sweet Jazzy, who comes to check on her to see how she's doing. And then Wendy, same thing. And here comes Wicked Witch Gizelle. Oh my God, this woman disgusts me. Anytime someone tells me they're a Gizelle fan, I'm like, listen, I have to be careful of you because I do not know how it's possible to like someone that is just so cruel, so mean, so okay with spreading dangerous, vicious lies about people, trying to destroy people's literal lives. I'm sorry, she's such a disgusting person. So again, Stacy was so kind to even say goodbye to her and congratulations, despite Gizelle setting her up to be ambushed, right? And there she is, minding her own business, not bothering anybody, waiting for an elevator and responding to the two girls who came to check on her. And the Wicked Witch comes over saying, you got to go. If you're going to go, go. Let me press that button for you. She already pressed the button. Like, what is this? Like, Gizelle is such a mean, despicable, disgusting, she makes me want to vomit. She's such a disgusting person. I know that sometimes these people play up things for TV or whatnot, but this example or this image that she's portraying is truly vile. It's truly disgusting, and it's just truly sad and hard to watch. This is the 9th or 10th season or something like that, and she's still acting like this. No character development, no growth, no nothing. Ew, she's so gross. Gross. Good morning, Boo. Good morning, Farrah, as well. And Kimmy, right? Like, it's just so It's so annoying. None of these girls have a dog in the fight, yet they're so pressed. What is really going on in you guys' lives? Let's talk about how Jenna is flopping and still doesn't have an actual identity, right? Why don't we talk about what really was in that settlement and how did you manage to renegotiate that settlement, Ashley? What did you sign on? Let's talk more about that situation with Josh. I know she finally opens up about it, but why don't we also talk about that thing with that other guy from Love Hotel or whatever else you've got going on, right? And Kiarna, like, let's talk about the fact that you're never going to get a ring from Greg. Let's talk about that. Milan says, Carlos says Gizelle never reads comments. I think that's why she thinks she's a Tachi. And it's so sad. Gizelle, you need to read these comments and course correct. Because maybe for season 1, for season 2, whatever, your actions were funny to some. She was never funny to me. I never liked her. But like, it has just gotten worse and worse. She has bought into her own hype. And she is just beyond reproach at this point, and it's just shocking to witness. That elevator situation was disgusting. It was so mean, so disgusting. What did Stacy do to her? Stacy was so polite to her from the beginning to the very end, despite all of the pushing, lying, prodding, and setup that Gizelle did to her. And still she had the audacity to stomp her way over there, push that button, and kick somebody out of a party they were already leaving very gracefully, might I add. And exactly, Kay doesn't even know anybody involved in this, but she's got like herself just worked up over it, and it's just ridiculous. And they need to get their own lives. I swear for her, she is everybody's storyline, and it's pathetic. Why don't they have anything else going on in their lives? Gizelle used to hide behind her daughters, but now that they've all moved out, all she can do is hound Stacy. And it's so annoying. It's so boring. We're how many episodes in now? 9 episodes in, and we're still obsessing over this girl who did nothing to deserve this, right? On behalf of another girl that y'all aren't even friends with, and a man that y'all don't even talk to. Huh? What? And exactly, they are so freaking inauthentic. The amount of things they've lied about, Gizelle and all her fake relationships, getting back together with that pastor. If anybody can't be trusted around children, why don't we talk about that pastor who cheated on you allegedly with an underage member of the congregation? Let's talk about that allegedly. And let's talk about why you'd want to get back together with somebody who would do that, Gizelle. Allegedly, right? Exactly, Ronnie. Get a freaking life. It is so embarrassing for all of them to be this wound up and this obsessed with somebody who's done literally nothing that actually impacts them in any way, shape, or form. Right. Milan says Stacy is supported by everyone, but Queens of Bravo, listen, Queens of Bravo, is that page that's obsessed with Robin? Don't even get me started. Kelly says Gizelle is doing entirely too much. She is. It's just, it's boring. It's always the same thing with her, right? Set people up to go and create conflicts with each other and never share anything about yourself, right? And bully people. That's all she does. Gizelle is a freaking high school bully that never grew up. And listen, this is why she can't have a happy ending that she wants, because her spirit is just so freaking nasty and she doesn't deserve it. Ferris says, I bet Gizelle will change her tune when she sees Stacy as the fan favorite. Oh, and it's going to be funny to watch. But here's the thing I hate about all these girls actually on Potomac is that they will have legitimate beefs with Gizelle, right? But then the second Gizelle changes up and tries to be nice to them, right? Like Monique, for example. Monique, Gizelle hated you when you were, that rich housewife and stuff. And now that you lost that, she's trying to be your friend and you're falling for it hook, line, and sinker. She used to hate Ashley. She used to roll up in that emu restaurant with Robin, trying to get Robin to beat her down and all that stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, because she plays nice, Ashley wants to be her best friend. All of these girls are freaking weak when it comes to Gizelle. And they're always so ready to kiss her ass for literally no reason. They never band together to take her down. They need to take her down. I am so ready for a Gizelle takedown season. They hate that she's so beautiful. They hate that she's so elegant. They hate that she's not bothered by them. She's got bigger fish to fry, And listen, Andre, speaking of this, why don't we go back? I actually spoke too soon about Stacy leaving the party. I want to get back to this part. Listen, I like Stacy, okay? And I'm Team Stacy in her battle against the Mean Girls. However, when she was going toe-to-toe with Kiarna and whatnot, and Kiarna was asking her what she's got going on or something like that, Stacy's like, oh, I have a husband. Baby, you don't. You're divorced, Okay. Like, what are you talking about? I have a husband. Y'all are divorced. You've been divorced since Christmas. And then she says, and I have a ring. Okay. But it's not an engagement ring. You're not engaged. You're divorced. This is the ring from your marriage that you no longer have. So that was something that I found to be, a little bit like, it gave me secondhand embarrassment for her. I'm not going to lie, you guys. I think it's so embarrassing when women act like being married or not, or in a relationship or not, is like the end all be all of life and whatnot. And if you're not there, you're below or beneath. It's ridiculous, in my personal opinion, especially if you're going to be bragging on a marriage that you're not in and a husband that you don't have. Okay. However, I will say that I thought it was really, really funny when Kiana said that ring was cloudy. She doesn't want that ring, right? And so Stacey goes, oh yeah, I'm sure it's cloudy next to nothing. Go find Greg. Go beg for a ring. That was hilarious. I will give her that. I thought that was incredibly funny on her part, right? So listen, I like Stacey, but she definitely does have some moments where I'm like, girl, please. But she truly cleared with the go find Greg, go beg. Because at the end of the day, that is all it is that Kiana is doing, right? Begging for a ring, trying, moving in and out of houses and stuff, in the hopes of maybe, potentially getting a ring from Greg. It's incredible that she's given this man so much time. Oh, listen, we got my good sis Layla in the house. Hey, boo. Let's see what she says. She says, hey, Curly, you are so right about Gizelle. Her mask fell off last night and she was back to being the bully that she is. Exactly. She's disgusting. She's pathetic. It's old. It's tired. She's just such a mean person for quite literally no reason. Stacey was so nice to her. She was so nice to her this entire party. There was quite literally no reason for Gizelle to treat her this way. And I love how the girls were like, why are you mad at her? She's like, well, I heard some things tonight that I need time to digest. Like, what? What did you hear tonight that had anything to do with you? Nothing. And on top of that, you guys called Chris to see if Stacey was lying. And Chris told y'all that she's not lying. She didn't talk to him. So what are you talking about? Like, I'm so wound up from this thing. Blah, blah, I need time to digest. I'm going to kick her out and humiliate her at my party. There was no reason for it. Gizelle is just a witch. This is what she gets off on. She loves to be mean to people. And it's, oh God, I really cannot wait for a Gizelle takedown season and for a season without Gizelle. Please, Lord. Castle Magic, are you in here, boo? I'm always bothering her. I just know she's sick of me. But please, Castle Magic, please, if you can, please, let's manifest this together. Gizelle-free Real Housewives of Potomac for even just one season. Please. Now, can we talk about Ashley's beautiful hair? The next day, we're at her house, right? And she's over there with her beautiful, like, gorgeous curls. I'm like, why is she always wearing these, like, wigs when her hair is just so beautiful and bouncy? She's got this gorgeous color to it. Like, everything about her hair is so beautiful. So I don't know why she all of a sudden stopped like rocking it like that. That's how we met her on the show, right? She came in with this beautiful, luscious, bouncy afro. I remember Gizelle. Gizelle was a biatch to Ashley the first few seasons. She was like, oh, look at your hair. It's so wild and bushy or something like that. She was being very derogatory towards Ashley's afro hair, but her hair is truly beautiful. And so she was talking to her mother. Well, first of all, she and her children, they were doing some kind of musical thing. Like her son was showing off to his grandma, Sheila, that he's got this keyboard that he likes to play and sing on. And then Ashley opened her mouth and produced some very, very, unique sounds. Some might say she sang. I wouldn't. And then afterwards, she goes to the porch with her mother to talk about her situation with Jack Harlow, right? Are they or aren't they together? If so, why not? Or if not, why? So she says that she can't be in a long-term relationship with Josh because Josh wants to get married and he wants to have kids. She's already been there, done that. Like, yeah, maybe she can have more kids, but the marriage thing isn't really her vibe anymore because she's already done that. And I'm kind of like, you know what? Is that something in her prenup or is that something in marital law? Like, you guys, let me know if you're like illegal eagles, but sometimes in settlements and alimony and whatnot, the rule is your gravy train stops once you get remarried. So is that why Ashley doesn't want to get remarried? Because the money from Michael would have to come to an end? Just curious. Just curious. Y'all let me know. I'm very, very much curious about that because that would be a very interesting explanation, right? And that's something that makes me kind of feel sad for Ashley. It's that she went through her life very quickly, very young, right? And I blame her mother for this, right? Because here she is. She's talking to her mom about how her mom's health is failing and stuff, yet she's working like 12, 13-hour days to take care of like her deadbeat husband or whatever, right? Listen, her mom is a tried and true pick me. She is not going anywhere, right? She wants to stay with that man. So Ashley, you got to stop stressing yourself out over your mom, right? Like that's what she chose for herself and that's what she has to live with. And it's sad, but it is what it is. You can't save her. And so when I think about Ashley and how she had to kind of prostitute herself out to this like creepy old man to secure her financial future, I low-key blame her mom for even putting her in that situation, because you can tell that Ashley is so deeply affected by her mom's financial situation and the fact that her mom's got this moocher on her. And listen, I think her marriage to that creep also kind of suffered because of this, because Michael hated the fact that he had to pay, the rent or whatever, or maybe buy a house, I don't know, for Ashley's mother and her boyfriend to live in with the other kids that they chose to have, knowing they didn't have no damn money, And so, yeah, it makes me really sad, right? Very, very sad. Oh, Lord have mercy, y'all. What a mess all of this is. By the way, y'all, I'm bookmarking your comments about the Gizelle and the Stacey stuff to get back up there. Actually, you know what? Let's see. It's just so crazy that I don't believe anything. Special Luo vibes with the super chat. Thanks so much for the super chat. Let me go ahead and get out the sound effects. Thank you. Special says Gizelle is a mean-spirited and built like a bully. Listen, if it looks like a bully, quacks like a bully, then it is built like a bully, right? Truly. What a mess, like that's just all she does. And she really gets off on it. Those are the only moments where you see her really smiling from ear to ear when she's tormenting someone. And I think it's really disgusting. Ronnie says, I love Ashley's hair. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous. Like it's a lot more beautiful than, the wigs that she slaps on. I'm sorry. Listen, wigs can look nice and stuff, but hers just don't. Like, I don't get it. Not Jigsaw. Damn. East Austin says, sorry to be mean, but who gives a flying F about Ashley's housing insecure mom with awful judgment, respectfully? Exactly. Listen, if this is a life that your mom chose for herself, this is a life she chose for herself. You got to say, you know what, damn, that sucks, and move on. At this point, you've got your own life. You've got your own kids. You cannot spend your time freaking out, stressing out over a grown-ass woman who's made her own choices in life, right? At the end of the day, we all suffer the consequences of our decisions. And Kimmy says she was never, listen, maybe it was just a storyline. Maybe it was just like I don't know, like a bop situation. I don't know, but maybe a mess overall, I wonder if that guy was really in love with her, or she was, you know what I mean? Because it feels to me like he was more attached to her than she was attached to him. Al says, oh, I love your picture, by the way. Josh just bought her the Boy Is Mine tickets. Oh, no, really? I had no idea. So I guess they're still together. Damn, this man is really happy being strung along. I had no idea. Jamie says that is the case in Ohio, where if you remarry while you're getting alimony, your alimony would be cut off. So I really do think. And listen, if that's the case, then good on you, Ashley. She's a lot smarter than her mom. Okay, she is a lot smarter than her mother. I will give her that. Do not remarry. Cash those checks for as long as you can, right? Poppy says, watching them all flop this episode was amazing. All hail Stacy. Oh, that made me laugh. All hail Stacy. That'll kill me. And exactly, Layla, right? Listen, one thing about Ashley is she's a very conniving person, like maybe we thought that that what's his face, Jovi, had her all up against the ropes and whatnot, but she really managed to come out on top in that overall situation. And exactly, SW, like, it makes me really like concerned for her daughters, like what a kind of example that she set for them with just her evil behavior and the rumors that she spread. We saw the rumors she spread about Wendy and Eddie. We saw the rumors she spread about Monique and her trainer. We saw her at the beginning of this episode trying to spread rumors about Stacy and children. Like, what kind of example is that? She's a very just, oh God, I hate even talking about her. She disgusts me so much. I cannot stand talking to her, right? Is it really more convenient to put something on rather than to just, I don't know, leave your hair? Because her hair, like, she's just, I don't know, maybe she just does a wash and go. Maybe just put it up in a ponytail like she did there. I feel like putting your hair in a ponytail is a lot less effort than putting in a wig, but I digress. Ferris says, Gizelle's textbook, Misery Loves Company. Exactly. She truly, truly is. Ugh. And it's never going to change. She's too old to change at this point. TK, hey, boo, what a cute picture, TK's. I'm confused. I'm convinced that they're getting at Stacy on behalf of Karen. Karen getting back at her because she told Wendy Karen didn't like her. Do you think so? Now, that is a conspiracy theory if I've ever seen one. Listen, by the way, speaking of Karen, I'm actually really excited for Karen to come back onto the show because it's very much disjointed without her. We need her. Can I ask you guys how you feel about Jazzy, by the way? I'm sorry, y'all. I love Jazzy. I know that there was a moment where she was like, doing too much to create a feud with Tia and whatnot. However, overall, she's so beautiful. She's so glamorous. And, she seems to really want to be a housewife and to really bring it. And I really want to see more about this marriage with the break babies and whatnot. Like, I want to learn more about her dynamic with this man and everything she's got going on. Like, I really, really like her. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a townhouse, right? I actually love a good townhouse, but because I am middle class, I am watching The Real Housewives of Potomac. This is a football wag who decided to go ahead and marry somebody who had like a kid or two on her. To me, if I'm going to marry someone who had a kid or two on me, it's because they're rich and I'm living in the lap of luxury, not in a townhouse. So I was a little bit surprised about that. I did hear that her man was a bit of a bench warmer, but I thought that even the bench warmers made good money. So I was quite surprised. But listen, townhouse aside, she did know how to host and treat the ladies. She made put all the canapes and very beautiful, dishware and whatnot. Like, everything looked really lovely. She's just so glamorous and elegant to me. I really like her, and I want to see her on the show. And I want to see a wag that's like not Angel. Like Angel, she's insufferable. So give me a wag that's got like this fun, bubbly, happy, positive energy, right? Just saying. I really love her. You see, she's absolutely beautiful. And by the way, TKs, Farah is here for your conspiracy. Feisty Canadian too. Hey, boo. How are you doing? D says Ashley's mom comes on annually to get embarrassed. So Ashley will continue to support her. Listen, you got to do what you got to do, right? If you're going to be living off your daughter, these are the rules of engagement. Hope you had a good weekend, D, by the way. So did I tell y'all? So listen. So yeah, I'm happy to see that y'all generally do like Jazzy. And same here, Feisty. I was quite surprised by that. Listen, I'm not watching The Real Housewives to watch people live in townhouses, like, anybody that you meet in real life lives in a townhouse, right? These are supposed to be really rich ladies, but listen, I don't know. Maybe they're in the process of building something and they're renting this townhouse. I don't know. So anyway, she has Stacy and Wendy over to discuss the ambush that went down at Gizelle's party. And for the first time, I gotta say, Stacy seemed really, truly shaken up by what happened at that party. Right. So I know that a lot of times we like to say that Stacy, she's got it all under control and this and that. But I think she was genuinely hurt and shocked and just rattled by the venom, the anger, just the vitriol that these women have for her for no reason. Because again, none of anything that they're coming at her over has to do with them. So she's just so confused as to why they're so passionate about something that doesn't impact them, doesn't affect them in any capacity. You know what I mean? It's all so strange. So meanwhile, on the other side, and this is where we get to Gizelle being a witch again. Oh my God, Gizelle, the witch that you are, right? So after treating Stacy like ish at the end of her party, She goes over to Angel's house. All right, Eeyore's having a party. Let's go, everybody. Let's all go and spread some negativity, right? Here comes Misery and company to go to Eeyore's house to talk about Stacy. That's what Gizelle proudly says in her confessional. She says, "Yeah, we're all traumatized by Stacy. We're all, what is it? What is it? We're all, what is it? Trauma bonded. Yeah, trauma bonded over Stacy. How are y'all trauma bonded over Stacy? What has Stacy done to you? Has Stacy set you up to be ambushed? Did Stacy try to humiliate you as you left a party? No, like she hasn't done anything to any of these people." And then Stacy, Gizelle also says, "Oh, like it's time to do my favorite thing, which is gathering around to talk crap about, like Stacy or something like that." I was like, "Girl, you were so pathetic. You were pushing 60. And this is what you consider fun? Ew, I'm sorry, but ew, get a life." Sorry, this is loser-ish. This is such loser-ish to be sitting around like, yeah, I'm so excited to talk crap about somebody who has done quite literally nothing to me. It's crazy. And Tia, I thought you were a cool chick. And I stood up for Tia in the last episode because I did think she had a right to be upset with Stacy. Listen, Stacy, she did kind of lie on Tia. Okay, she did. So I got the whole Tia being upset with her over that particularly, but the fact that she's decided to fully align herself with these mean girls, oh God, please. I hope it changes. I hope things flip by the end of the season because this is not going to be good for Tia. I really wish these new girls would stop trying to suck up to Gizelle. Gizelle is not who you want to be with. You need to be against Gizelle if you really want to come out on top on this show. It is time for her to go. It is time for her to be dragged through the hills or the valleys of Potomac. Okay, so I really would love to see somebody, really go toe to toe with her and not allow her to bully them the way that she's been able to bully people for like 9-10 seasons straight now, And so, Tia, I'm disappointed. I really thought you were going to be that girl, but you're not. Exactly, Jamie. You have to, I'm sorry, but you have to be a total loser to be like, "I'm so excited to go talk crap about that." Like, why don't you find something else to do? There are so many things you can be doing. Apparently you're rich now. Why don't you go do some shopping? Why don't you go travel somewhere? Like, why don't you go freaking decorate your ugly ass house some more? There are so many more things you could be doing than to be talking about freaking Stacy. You're so obsessed with her. And I'm still trying to figure out how they're trauma bonded over someone who has not even traumatized. What has Stacy done to them? Nothing. Gizelle, you have spent all of your seasons here lying, and you've spent your season spending not even just regular lies, but vicious lies. You've been lying about men trying to trap you into hotel rooms and get with you or whatever, men cheating on their wives cheating on their husbands, the paternity of babies. You're accusing Stacy of being dangerous around children. These are very serious, categorical lies that you've spread. And all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that you hate liars and you're traumatized by liars. And actually, let's not even get started on you defending your predator husband and him grabbing all these people's butts, all that stuff. All the lies you spread about that weird marriage relationship situation you had with him. Like, what are you talking about? They're insane. And I'm so disappointed, Dee. I really, really thought Tia was going to be with Stacy, with Wendy and all those, but she's just not. And listen, I'm still trying to like her, Andre, but I got my good eye on her. This is my good eye, by the way, if you're curious. I got my good eye on her because I'm just not happy about this. I want to see her in allegiance with Wendy and Stacy. And listen, Wendy might be going to the pen. Do y'all think? Look, he's awesome. Cover your ears. I don't want you coming for me. Wendy might be going to jail, y'all. Mm-hmm. So with that, Stacy really needs some true allies. And so I want to make that as more of a case for Jazzy to join the show. We really need Jazzy because Jazzy is team Stacy. She doesn't understand why these girls are so obsessed with her. And I love that, for her. I really love her. And I agree, boo. Like, yeah, why don't they go volunteer? Go do something with your lives. This is so weird. Or find something else to bring as your storyline, Anyway, let's get to Kiarna. Kiarna, you were how Karen said that Robin was the dizziest bee at the table. Now that Karen and Robin are gone, let me be the one to tell y'all. Kiarna is officially the dizziest bee at the table because what do you mean? The man who kicked you out of his house or whatever wants you to move back in and you're so excited about that. Like it's the most amazing thing ever. You know what I mean? By the way, look at her brother. Kiarna, her brother, and her mom, they are all so, so, so beautiful, aren't they? So she invites her brother and her mother over to talk about the fact that now she's allowed back in through the doggy door at Greg's place. He quote unquote bought her a condo. You know what I think he did? He bought a condo as a secondary home, put Kiarna in it, but her name ain't on ish. And so she's saying, he bought me a condo. No, he didn't. You're just in there. You're probably even paying him rent, boo. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. So she's announcing that to her mom. By the way, like I said, her mom is beautiful, but for certain angles, she kind of looks like Tokyo Toni, doesn't she? And let's go back to her brother again. Her brother is fine. So anyway, their mom is not at all impressed. She's like, girl, you moved out because he wouldn't marry you. Where the hell is the ring? What are you talking about? He bought me a condo. Who cares about living in a condo with a man who will not commit to you, you know? And I know that stung Kiarna after her battle with Stacy, who said she was not getting a ring from Greg. She had to run and beg for one. Oh, I know she was triggered by that, right? Who wouldn't be in that situation? She knows that everybody's right, but I think she feels like she's in too deep to leave now. And so she's not going anywhere. And it's just sad. Doing all this for a boyfriend is crazy. You know, it's not supposed to be that complicated. If it's that complicated, it's because it's not the right one, you know? And her mom was right. What's it been, like 3 years? Like, ish, or get off the pot. The man is not going to marry you, Kiarna. And obviously you want to be married to him. So, you know, you have to move accordingly. Just saying, you know, you can't be moving into that condo. Unfortunately, it looks like she did, but she's playing herself by moving into that condo. I do not believe it's in her name. I do not believe that she's going to be able to earn the money from the sale or the whatever of that condo. So at the end of the day, it's just like another thing to buy his time and distract her from the fact that she's not getting what she wants and needs out of this relationship. Gwen says, women who defend horrible guys like that are a danger to other women, period. Free Wendy indeed. Yes. Listen, I really hope Wendy beats those charges, but they're looking pretty strong. Just saying. Allie says, I thought it was a sure thing since the emails came out allegedly. Yeah, I know, but just for the sake of the next season, I really want Wendy to be free. If she set up a GoFundMe to pay for her legal fees, would y'all contribute? Just think about the show, the future of the show, okay? I'm telling you, isn't he gorgeous? Hang on, let me put up his picture again. I said, damn, the genes in this family. Listen, maybe Kiarna's a bird, okay? Maybe she's a little bit too thirsty for that champagne float, but she is beautiful, just like her brother, just like her mama. Oh, Lord have mercy. Are they beautiful? Listen, we got to go find his Instagram. Listen, don't get me in trouble. We got to find his Instagram or whatever, just to see. And look at the muscles on him. Lord, right? And exactly, she snaps. You know what this reminds me of a little bit? This reminds me of when Ashley and, you know, her creepy husband were fighting and whatnot. It was season 2 or 3, and he kicked her out of like the penthouse, and then she had to go live in the sweat box, as Karen like to say. That's the vibe that it gave me. What do you mean that you're coming and going, and you consider that an advancement in your relationship? Like, and that's why I say he let you in through the doggy door, because that's all this is. You know, you're a toy that he picks up and puts down when he wants, you know, and he's not going to be serious about you, and it is a mess. Oh. Layla says Kay is slow and easily distracted like a child. Unfortunately, I do agree. And she has such a hard time controlling her emotions and whatnot, like to the point where it's scary. It's like, you are a grown woman. She's always so just on edge and like seemingly aggressive with Stacy particularly, and Wendy for no reason. Like she's got a lot going on. Like I really liked her at first, but she's got a lot going on that needs that needs to be addressed. Okay. Oh, a mess. Right. And I agree, Poppy. And listen, I'm trying to see it too. No offense to Greg, but he ain't cute. And on top of that, like he comes with like, you know, a lot of just compromise and whatnot. Kiarna, with all her success, all her beauty, she could find a very simple guy who wants the same thing as her and who could marry her or propose to her within the year. And that's not Greg. She does not need to be waiting no damn 3 years, please. Now, can we get into this scene, by the way, where Wendy and her sister, they talk about her father and whatnot. So essentially, Wendy's biological dad abandoned her and her siblings when they were young. They were essentially raised by her mother and their stepfather as well. And so Wendy and her sister and their families and her other siblings, they all went back to Nigeria. And the father was supposed to see them as well, but then he ultimately wound up bailing on them. And so Wendy says something that's so sad, which is essentially like, she really thought that with all of her success and her fame and everything, that the dad would be like dying to see her and to get to know her and to love her and stuff, but he just didn't even want to see her at all. And that was something that was really, really devastating to her. And it just, makes me sad that she even felt like she had to earn any kind of like love. You know what I mean? Like, that should be a given, right, in a parent-child relationship. So it just, it makes me sad. And it also makes you kind of wonder, like, is that why she was doing all this? She talks about her mom and her mom really wanting for all of them to have all this education and all this success. But was it also kind of, at least in some part, with the idea of, getting her dad to love her? Very sad. Speaking of her mom, listen, this woman was a total jump scare this episode. Every time you see her, just the bleachery jumps out at you. And this time, I don't know if it's a Ozempic, a gastric sleeve, or what, but she was quite startling. She always looks completely different. Listen, I know y'all hate Mia, but the mom creeps me out. I'm just going to say it. Her mom just, she has such bad vibes to me. I really hate the way that she's always like trying to get money out of Wendy and her siblings and this and that. I feel like she's just like the stereotypical, just terrible, like representation of like, what African parents can be like, y'all. Like, just, do not even get me started. I really, really cannot stand this mentality. And unfortunately, it is very, very prevalent in African parents. So she just puts me off so much. I'm always like, girl, shut up. Like, no, and it just makes me nervous for Wendy and her siblings, because it really feels like in her mind, these kids are her retirement plan. And that probably is, maybe even contributed to why Wendy did some of the things that she did. So I think that's for some, what were allegedly dead. She's not convicted. Okay. But I do think that it was keeping up with the Joneses for TV. I do also think that maybe they felt like, they had to keep up with the demands of the mother. Then of course, maybe wanting to be loved by her father. I don't know, but like, I feel like there was a lot of motivating factors for what she may or may not have done in regards to that insurance situation, and I find it to be very, very sad. I really can't stand parents like this. Sorry, not sorry, but oh God, it's always about money with her mother. Always, 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 always. And it's not cute. It's not funny. It is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly toxic. By the way, Wendy's got this new confessional look. She's been killing it this season. She really has. I love this new look of her. She is gorgeous. She is taking it. She is just absolutely gorgeous. And let's get into some of you guys' comments. D says, hard pass on Wendy's mom. Womp womp. Listen, where's Kempire with his sound effects when you need him? Womp womp womp. Let me put her picture back up since y'all are going in on her. She's just so off-putting. She really is. Just my skin crawls whenever she comes on the screen. She's just so annoying. Look at her. Look at her face. Look at her hands. That is the work of some, harsh bleach. Just a mess. And then look at her skin versus her kid's beautiful skin, and then Wendy's kid's beautiful skin. Just, this is not her natural skin color, and that's why it looks so odd. Oh, Lord. That's why Wendy's in this white man's insurance stunt. Not the white man's insurance stunt. Two steps. Versus, do you think the mom knew about what Wendy and Eddie were allegedly doing? Listen, no, I don't think so. I think that maybe everybody or what Wendy and Eddie may have felt like they had to keep up with all her demand. Look at this. You know how much a Christian Dior bag like this costs? What is it? At least $3,000 or something like that. And this lady's demanding allegedly these things. Maybe how much does bleaching cream cost? Do any of y'all bleach? How much does that cost? There's that. A gastric sleeve or Ozempic, I don't know, plastic surgery. Didn't she say she wanted a tummy tuck? She wanted a boob job. She said all this when Wendy got her work done. She wanted that done too. That stuff ain't cheap, y'all. That stuff ain't cheap. So to be keeping up with this, then on top of that, you've got your own lives, your own kids, your own spouses, everything else to keep up with. That is a lot of money. So maybe it contributed to it, but I don't think that they would have told her. I don't think that they could have told anybody about what they were allegedly, potentially, maybe or maybe not doing, Farrah, and making them get more money. Look at her hands and face. Exactly. They do not match. They do not match. And she actually low-key does, Elle. I see what you're talking about here. She kind of low-key does. Lord have mercy. Good morning, Acacia. Nice to see you, boo. Nice to see you. Oh, Lord have mercy. What a mess this episode kind of was. Andre says, Ashley, let your mom live her life. I have a brother and sister. My father passed away in 1992. So sorry for the loss of your father, Andre. And I completely agree. Listen, yeah, maybe Ashley's mom is a pain in the ass and she's not making the smartest decisions, but at the end of the day, those are her decisions. She's a grown woman. She can take care of herself. And Ashley needs to stay out of it. She really does. Don't work yourself up, lose your own health, lose your own sleep over somebody else and their foolish decisions. Now let's get into the sit down that they organized with Monique, right? The girls are so concerned about Monique, her ex-husband, all this stuff, right? Mind you, nobody at this table has really stayed much in contact with Monique with the exception of Ashley. And even then, they weren't even friends like that. Ashley's never been to Monique's house since she got divorced. And Monique got divorced, what, like 2 years ago? Please, please, please. By the way, look how good Monique looks. Divorce looks good on Monique. She got herself a set of divorce boobs. And she's always been a really fit girl. So she's got that going for herself too. And look at Wendy. Wendy is looking amazing, by the way. I'm so happy she came to check Ashley and Kiarna because they came so desperate to paint Stacey in an extremely bad light. So at first it's at first it's Ashley and Kiarna at the table talking to Monique, right? And so they're saying, oh, well, Stacey went back to your ex and said this and that to him, blah, blah, all this stuff about you and what you were saying. And she's spreading rumors. And they actually never once brought up the fact that at that party, Charisse called Chris and Chris denied Stacey coming to him with rumors. So essentially what they're telling Monique is a bunch of crap that was already debunked by Chris. And they're just trying to rile her up. Monique, I hope that watching the show, you realize that Ashley is not your real friend. She's just desperate for a storyline and she's got nothing going on. And she's trying to play with your real life, your real emotions, and your real divorce and custody situation for a storyline. She's not a real friend, right? And honestly, you could tell that Monique has truly moved on because she tells these girls, I do not care. I divorced this man. Cookie's a liar. I don't even know why Charisse is in this. Charisse doesn't even like me. Who cares? And then when Stacey walks in, you've got Kiarna rolling her eyes and stuff because she's so upset that Wendy told her that Stacey doesn't want for her to be involved in the conversation, right? And so everybody's sitting there. It's very tense. And then Monique gets up to give Stacey a hug and say that they come in peace. The woman who's supposed to be like, she's foiled all of Ashley and Kiarna's plans. They want her to like be ready, to deliver like the 1-2, that she delivered on Candace on Stacey, but she's not doing it. She doesn't care, and I love that. Monique is having a really, really good comeback redemption season. She is absolutely killing it, right? And by the way, when Wendy came to join them at the table, she's the one who told Monique that, Chris was called at the event, and he already said that Stacey didn't call him with any with any kind of gossip, right? So I'm really, really happy that she came along because Ashley and Kiarna were going to hide that from her. A friend will not hide information from you, and have you snapping and acting crazy, with your ex-husband and other people, right, off of fake information. So Ashley's a total snake. She really is. Malin says, that's why I'm happy Wendy stopped bleaching. Same here. Listen, she tried to do it. I don't even understand why. Well, you've got skin let me put her back up. Wendy, your skin is so beautiful. And then when you look at her beautiful, 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 gorgeous children too, like, why would you even try in the first place? It's so sad. Sun says, across the franchises, why are the mothers horrible? Dang, I don't know. It's true because even in Salt Lake City, you got Bronwyn's witch of a mother. And then there's a lot in the other seasons as well, right? The other franchises. I don't know. It's so sad. It really is. Hey Don, nice to see you. I see you were on vacation. I love that you joined us from vacation. Hope you're having a good vacay. Happy Monday to you. SW says, why is she even surprised, right? Why is Kay surprised that Stacey doesn't want her involved? I don't know, and I'm so happy that she decided to get up and go to the bar because it's true. You're not needed for this conversation, Kiarna. Like, go away. It has literally nothing to do with you. You don't know Stacey. You don't know Chris. So why are you even so like hostile anyway? Go away. Go away. You know what I mean? Like, go away. Go away. She's so annoying. Alex says, why does she in that photo look like, if you look from the side, look like the Spice Girl Melanie? Does she? Let me put that back up. I'm glad Monique has a mind of her own. Me too. Monique is killing it. This is Monique's season. Can I ask y'all, do you want to see Monique continue to be a friend of, or would you like to see her with the flu? I think I would prefer to see her as a friend of. She's in a good place. Like, she doesn't need these girls and like all the toxicity and the drama and the nonsense that they bring. Listen, she was having a nice, calm life until these girls came to them with all this nonsense, trying to stir up trouble in her co-parenting or whatnot with Chris, so stay away from these girls, keep them at an arm's length. She's doing great as she is. I don't think it would be good for her to delve much deeper. Right. So then at this point, you've got Stacy, who's arrived at the table. Like I said, Monique was so kind. She got up, she hugged her. She said, we come in peace. She's not mad about anything. And so, there goes, evil little Ashley's plan out the window. And so Stacy starts showing messages that Chris had sent her, congratulating her on her magazine covers, saying that he wanted to meet up with her. She claims that she ignored his messages. But then Ashley does bring up a fair point, which is that you can delete your sent messages. So maybe Stacy did send some messages and that's why he feels so comfortable, messaging with her, because she was responding once upon a time, but that maybe she deleted them. What do you guys think about that? I think it's possible. Don't forget, listen, Stacy, she is a bit of a liar. They all are. Nobody's innocent here in this franchise of like not lying, with the exception of maybe Tia for now, right? And so now we get to Wendy trying to figure out who the leak is to Chris. She's like, it's either Kiarna, because why is she even in contact with Cookie? And it's true. Why is Kiarna in contact with Cookie? Cookie is Karen's friend. Kiarna knew Karen for what, one season? Like, why? Like, huh? And then she says it could also be Angel, because Angel's husband knows Chris Samuel. So maybe Angel's gossiping to her husband, who's gossiping to Chris Samuels. She said it could be Gizelle, because one thing about Gizelle, she's going to stir up some mess somewhere, but at the end of the day, Monique does not care. And if the only person concerned by this situation does not give a crap, is cool as a cucumber, is happy, smiling, hugging the woman involved in all the controversy and all the rumors, then why the hell is everybody else so upset and worked out and so hostile over it? There's literally no good reason, right? So overall, listen, it was a very just stressful episode, right? With all the hostility, all the anger, all the animosity and whatnot. But I wound up enjoying it overall. Like if I were to rate the episode, I would still give it like maybe like a 9, 8 or a 9. It was good. It was a good episode. There was a lot going on. It kept my attention going, right? Theo, I love this movie. I used to watch, listen, I just got a thing on my Apple Watch about Love is Blind Italy. Oh my God, it just dropped today. Love is Blind Italy. Are you guys going to be watching that? I'm going to be watching the hell out of that. I watch this like Christmas special all the time. It's so cute. Like the Rudolph, that's what Candace looks like to me with her like nose job. Theo says, Kiarna and Angel getting egg on their faces all this episode was great to see. Can't stand either of them, but Kay's mother is beautiful. Exactly. They got what they deserved this episode. They did nothing but flop. They should be so freaking embarrassed, right? They should. Theo, this is Theo. Oh my God, you changed your icon and I was completely even like zapped on who you were. This is Theo, OG Theo. He also says that he doesn't think that Stacy is savvy enough to be deleting messages. Listen, she's a QVCO. She's got to be at least somewhat savvy, I would hope, right? I don't know. SW says, hang on. Okay, my microphone's working. It is possible, but then don't ask for proof. Exactly. Well, that's the thing, right? Don't ask for proof. You've got Chris who told you it's not true. You got Stacy showing you the text messages, and you don't buy anything. So why are you even like here? And again, Monique doesn't give a crap. So who cares? Who cares? By the way, someone came in. It was Shalia. No, you didn't miss the Jovi stuff. We're coming up with that now. Okay, boo. We're wrapping up our Housewives of Potomac recap. And then we're going to get into the Jovi stuff. And exactly, SW. Ashley was not even this invested with Michael lying ass and cheating, all that stuff, all those photos, all those videos, her watching him touching, this other guy's butt with her own eyes. None of that mattered, right? But she is down to the bottom of it. She hates liars. She made up these lies about like, oh, like we're open when it came out that the husband was cheating on her for that first time, like just all this smokescreen nonsense, D says, Monique is my girl, but I didn't like her for calling Chris messy and complaining about co-parenting being a nightmare. It's not a good look for her. You know what? And I think that those are maybe some of the things about like the cracks and whatnot and why she shouldn't, be on the show any more than she is. Because, yeah, like they really dig for moments like that. And that's the last thing that you need in that kind of a situation. Farrah says, Kay and Ashley are mad. They're losing their storyline. Exactly. Why can't they make up a storyline with each other, right? Maybe a wellness, business, because Kay is really into aesthetics. Ashley's really into health. Like do something together. A much better duo than G&A and whatever that was supposed to be, And listen, it's true, right? Like whatever she had done, it looks like that now. Sorry, Candace. Anyway, you guys, listen, why don't we get into our final recap of the day? We got to talk about 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After's tell all special. Listen, the way that Jovi effed around and found out, absolutely insane. So essentially, at the top of the reunion and the tell all, they're talking about this moment on this season where all the guys and everybody, like, they're all hanging out together, and they're talking about what they look like in their younger days, and they're showing old pictures, and then they're just like, like, this is me, like, wow, this is this era of my life, blah blah blah. And then Jovi's like, wow, well, Yara, when she was younger, like, wow, like, he basically called her ugly. She's, in her youth and whatnot, which is a really not okay thing to say. Even if you like feel that way, like, oh, maybe like you had like these kind of like awkward years and you grew into your, like, that's a nicer way to say things. But to be laughing in front of everybody, calling your wife ugly without plastic surgery, is that, like, not even essentially, literally, he says this woman is ugly without plastic surgery. It's a really, really like cruel thing to say. It is. Like, I don't know how I would get over that, because just, yeah, like, obviously she knows and she owns that she had plastic surgery. And she says in this tell all special that that's something that she felt like she had to do because her family had always made fun of her looks, her weight, her nose, her everything. So she felt like she had to get everything completely redone and changed, And Jovi knows that. And she kept telling us that Jovi knew that. So the fact that he, knowing that, would then go in front of everybody and call his wife ugly without surgery, it's mind-blowing. It wasn't an accident. He did that on purpose. And so that's why I was glad when the people clapped back. They were like, listen, Jovi, Yara is too hot for you. She's out of your league. So for you to even be saying that is crazy, And so to me, I was happy enough there. But then they did take it a step too far because they kept calling him, like, quite literally ugly. They're like, Yara's a 10 and you're like a 3. Like, you're so ugly. Like, all this stuff, right? And then they were talking about how he competed in these like baby pageants. They're like, who the hell judged those pageants, right? I was like, damn, like, and so this is where Guillermo, by the way, oh my God, first of all, he's gorgeous. Second of all, he speaks Spanish. Third of all, like, he's such a kind-hearted person, right? I'm actually really sad that he and Cara did not work out. They made such a beautiful couple. So at this point, he's like disgusted. By the way, everybody is like talking crap about Jovi and his looks, right? So he's like, guys, like, you don't stick up for one person by bringing another person down. If you want to stick up for her, but make it right. Don't do that. And I was like, damn, the maturity jumped out. You know what I mean? Because Sean Roberts is the host. And so I do feel like she had a certain responsibility to step in. And the fact that this youngster had to be the one to do it was absolutely incredible to me, right? And there's another thing about him that like stuck out to me at the end. So at the end of the tell-all, everybody gets up and they go home, right? They're like waiting for the cars. He gets up, he goes to Sean, the host, and he shakes her hand. He's like, thanks so much, Sean. It was a pleasure. I was like, this guy is so polite. Like, he is such good vibes. I know he wasn't perfect as a husband to, what's her name again? Merde, I forgot her name. They weren't perfect together. What was her name? Crap, I forgot her name, but they weren't perfect together, right? But like, I think that he does truly, genuinely have a good heart. And so it was really, her name's Cara. So it was really, really sad to see, that relationship didn't work out, but it was really amazing to watch him stick up for Jovi, even if Jovi did not necessarily deserve that, right? Because I got to be honest, Jovi effed around and found out, right? He tried to neg his wife. He thought everybody would be in on making fun of her and this and that, but they were not here for it. They decided instead to remind him that he's not much of a looker himself, right? So he should not be coming for anybody's looks, which, thank God, right? And then we get to like this on Andre's situation, him trying to force his wife Elizabeth to move with him to Moldova with the kids and everything like that. And she's just not having it. And, we capture some microphone bits and moments of him telling people that he's going to force her to and whatnot. And it was very, very ugly overall. And so Jovi comes for him about the way he speaks to his wife and stuff. And so Andre decides to unload the clip. He's like, Jovi, really? What about you? Why don't we talk about the fact that you're always telling me you want to divorce your wife? You're sick of her. You talk to divorce lawyers, all that stuff. I was like, oh, holy cow. Jovi, you were not smart. for going to Andre with any kind of information. Andre does not give a crap. He has a flaming temper. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot mess with somebody like that. You cannot give somebody like that important information. And so, yeah, that was really, really rough to watch. And, you know, especially the fact that Yara was finding this out for the first time in front of everybody, you know, like that must have been absolutely devastating to her to find that out too, you know? So not only is this man walking around calling you ugly in front of everybody, trying to get people to make fun of you, but he's also secretly meeting with divorce lawyers because he's mad that you don't want to live in New Orleans with him. It was Yara who decided she wanted to live in Miami. She couldn't stand living in New Orleans. Lord have mercy, right? And then here comes Elizabeth. I don't know if she's got like Stockholm syndrome with Andre or what, but like just watching her defend him as he talks to other people, you know, and especially other women like crap. Like, he hates Alexi and Lauren's friend. What's her name? Noga or something? Noga, right? Listen, granted, Noga was doing too much. She was acting like a fan who wanted a moment on the show by calling him out when she doesn't even know him. But he kept calling her dog. He's like, where's the dog? Who unleashed you? Okay, Doga, like all that stuff. Like him speaking that way, just like so violently towards women and other people. And Elizabeth walks off because she's having a panic attack, she says. And then she comes back, and instead of checking her husband, who talks to her and everybody like crap, she goes to the other girl, Noga. She's like, when are you going to apologize? You always an effing apology. I was like, girl, the supreme pick-me of all pick-me's. Like, listen, when Ish finally hits the fan, when she finally has enough of this man and divorces, she's going to be so regretful. She's not going to have any friends left. Listen, without her dad now, rest his soul, to be there to hold the family together, like she doesn't even really have family to help her, you know, anymore. So like she's really going to be missing out on everybody because she chose this guy over everybody, and it's so sad. By the way, you guys, I should have a screenshot of this somewhere, but I think Jasmine is low-key still in love with Gino, because there's no other reason for her to take her panties off when they get back to the house and rub it on his luggage and leave it in his luggage. That was very, like, to me, it's inexplicable why she would do anything like that. Can you guys think of a good reason to do that to your ex-husband, especially when you have a baby by somebody else and you're supposedly dating somebody else? Like, is it normal to leave your panties with your ex-husband? Maybe I am not aware of the customs, but that was very, very, very strange. So I don't know if you see her. And then Gina was telling everybody about, like, oh God, the state of them and stuff. And Darcy was touching them and sniffing them. It was just so weird overall. Very, very strange behavior. Listen, I think that anybody who says she didn't love him, I think is a liar. You could tell she definitely, definitely, definitely loved him. And I think she actually still does, more than she loves Matt too. Cara says, I did not like Kara's behavior this tell-all. She was doing too much. I agree. Listen, maybe she likes the money and the visibility of it, and so she wants to like stay by any means necessary, you know? And I agree, Allie. Don't come for Andre unless he comes for you, right? Because the other couples were saying that he and Elizabeth were like hiding things from the cameras and this and that. And so he said, I'm emptying out that entire clip. And he might have like ruined or seriously damaged Yara and Jovi's marriage and relationship. It made me sad though, when Yara was talking about he's her only friend. Yara, you've been in the US for like 6 years. Like, that's plenty of time to make some, you know, at least one friend. Damn, you know, like go make some friends. You should have some friends outside of your spouse, especially as an immigrant, you know, like, you cannot be a sitting duck completely alone, you know, in a country where you don't have your own family outside of your child. You need to have your own friends, truly, truly. So I hope that, not the pickle, Lexi. So I really do hope that she makes some friends. It's very important. Lexi says, oh my God, I despise Andre and the pick me Elizabeth same. He's so freaking aggressive. He's actually kind of scary, to be honest with you. I don't know how Elizabeth stands it. He is scary. And listen, like she's got, you know, and this is not to come for her appearance, but you could see it. Like she's got like the puffy eyes and stuff. Like you could tell this is somebody who is very stressed out and just very sad and devastated. I'm sorry, but I think Andre aged the hell out of her. The stress of dealing with him and just like all the discord that he causes in all her relationships, right? She's got friendships that have broken down, familial relationships that have broken down as a result of being with this man. And you can see the stress wearing on her on top of, you know, having young kids as well. And exactly, Allie, it's very weird. She's honestly, at this point, I think that Matt and her are just trolling with one another, right? Because Matt already had his mom on the show talk about how um, she had a woman, like a Romanian woman, ready to marry him at the drop of a dime, just need to say the word type thing. You know what I mean? And so I feel like on his own side, he's got his own things going on and his own reasons for wanting to stick around in this situation. Or maybe he's off too. Listen, he could be a little bit, touched for all we know, right? Feisty says, just remember, Yara and Jovi are going on Last Resort. So maybe they needed this as a setup. A lot of the couples on Last Resort, they're already over, or like they're doing well, but they just need a storyline for the show. So this is a really good point, Feisty Canadian. Jay says, Elizabeth's dad was my favorite person from the 90 Day French. It was so sweet, Chuck. Franchise. I'm so sad to hear about the news and praying for Elizabeth and her family. Such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message, Jay. And I agree. He was a really, really beautiful person. I think he gave such a really beautiful, good image of fatherhood in 90 Day Fiance and in reality TV in general. Lexi says, Elizabeth will never leave Andre since she's burnt bridges with all family and friends. He's isolated her to the point of brainwashing. And that's the thing that makes me the most sad, like it didn't have to be this way. Like you have to be strong from the very beginning and not put up with these sorts of tactics, right? Like these tactics are tried and true. They're old. It's always the same song and dance with people. You have to resist, know the red flags when you see them, and run as soon as possible, or else you wind up like this, completely isolated. Feisty, didn't they already participate in a prior season of Last Resort? They were talking about like her not wanting a second kid or something, and then Jovi and strippers, something like that. Shaliste says, Andrew is crazy, but Lawrence's friend was all the way in the wrong, just like freaked out about someone that they didn't even know. Who's Andrew? Who's Lawrence? Who's Andrew and Lawrence? Boo. Oh, Lauren's friend. Yes. Yeah, her friend was doing way too damn much. Way too damn much. She really wanted some camera time and she messed with the wrong one. So in that case, I actually do think she's the one who started all this. But at the same time, Andre's way of speaking to her, calling her a dog and everything was just disgusting. It was violent, and it was just, something that the show should have nipped in the bud. I think that, again, the host should have done a better job of putting him in his place about that. Mammy says, Elizabeth's dad was a sweetheart. I feel bad for what his daughter put him through with Andre. And remember those scenes where he would be crying about the family, the kids not getting along? Very, very sad. And I agree, Farrah. I wish she ran away, but now she's in very deep. She's got these kids with him. He's alienated her from family, from friends, even her colleagues at work, right? Yeah. Very, very sad. That's going to be a divorce for the ages, especially with all the money involved, right? You know what? I feel like Andre is the type of person who would fight her siblings over inheritance from Chuck. Just saying. Anyway, guys, listen, this has been such a great time chatting with you for today's morning report. Thanks so much for being here with me. I really hope that I'll have my new camera set up for the next time. And I'm looking forward to being back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk more about the day's hottest stories, okay? So if you guys want to stream shows like 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, anything on ID channel, a bunch of reality TV, make sure to use my affiliate link in the description box of this video, to sign up for a Philo account. They also have a free tier where you can go ahead and watch shows and movies and documentaries with ads. Okay, take good care, you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Happy Monday again, and Venetia, happy birthday again to your daughter. Okay, take care, you guys. Bye.